Hello, and welcome to another episode of playing Crusader Kings 3 using the hardest possible rule set. We started as, and are still playing as, the iconic, legendary Duchess Matilda of Tuscany in 1066. Last episode, we had a Black Death. It's currently subsiding in our realms, but you can still see that there are some counties that still have some presence of the Black Death. See, it killed over 8,000 characters. This is the first Black Death we've had. As part of playing on the hardest possible rule set, we have random, unlimited Black Deaths, as well as Doomsday Plagues. So, depending on how long we play, we could have 2, 3, 4, who knows how many more Black Deaths. We So what had happened is we had actually broken independent of the original Holy Roman Empire to become a vassal of King Robert the Fox, who starts as the Duke of Apulia, but he became a scourge conqueror, and he has clearly been the main character of the game. He conquered a huge empire largely under the title of the Emperor of Italia. Quite recently, converted that to be the Holy Roman Empire. So we are now a vassal, specifically the Queen of Italy, under the Second Holy Roman Empire. That's what we'd like to do in this game, just gradually increase our power, keep pushing into Germany and Bavaria, some of the core territories of the Holy Roman Empire, so that just keep getting more powerful. And as we get more innovations, strengthen our army, build up our domain, we'll eventually be in a position to take over the Holy Roman Empire, one way or another, either voting or by force. One thing I really would like to do is currently we are in the Duchy of Tuscany. Tuscany is a 5-county duchy. We only hold 2 of those counties. One of them is in the papacy, so difficult to get, but the other 2 are parts of our realm. We do have a claim now on both of them, and frankly, I would like to take these lands and sort of consolidate a bit in the Duchy of Tuscany. We're playing with -3 domain limits, so we can hold very few domain counties, and so getting the 4 counties in Tuscany that are part of our realm, may be all that we are practically able to hold. Frankly, the Pope isn't that strong. If we really wanted to, take Orbitello here, which is part of Tuscany, we could think about doing it. So the issue is that to take those counties, we would need to pass limited crown authority. This very often provokes rebellions among vassals, which is to say liberty factions, which then try to fire. But at this point, I think we take the risk. We'll pass it, sort of see what happens, see how our vassals react, and then what we can do. So you can see there's a liberty faction. Again, not surprising. Let's also see how difficult it would be to revoke these titles. That guy is not going to revoke regardless. Is he he's our friend. He still won't. Yeah. Okay, it's partly because of his personality. But yeah, he's just not going to give it up. Okay. Let's see about this guy. He also 0 chance. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. Guess we will move on with our lives. See here if we can vassalize anyone with at least normal feudal obligations. I don't like low feudal obligations. There's not enough money for the cost of getting on another vassal and paying for more for your amenities and so forth. Let's sway this guy. Hopefully get him out of the faction. And then I think we'll just wait to try to recover our income there. Again, it's been devastated by the Black Death, which has reduced the control in our counties and greatly reduced the development as well. At the moment, I don't want to go to any events because, again, all throughout the land, control is going to be very low, which means that getting anywhere, traveling anywhere is going to be quite dangerous. I do think it's time for us to end our capital isolation, come out of seclusion. That will help us more quickly improve the control in our realm. So we've fully completed the learning lifestyle. We have, I think, like 6 or 7 perks. Yeah, 7 perks in intrigue. And now we have moved on to the stewardship lifestyle. Interesting question for this character about whether we want to go to the avaricious or the architect tree. Our son, current heir, who we debated about quite a bit last time, is a 4-star stewardship character. So he should be very effective at building buildings when we take over as him. So I wonder if instead of really building buildings, which would suggest going down the architect tree, instead we just go down the avaricious tree, try to get as much gold as we can, and then give that to our son and heir. Also, we'll demand whatever payments we can here. Again, how happy to get more gold. See if we hold secrets that we can turn into hooks. So we know that all our family members are witches. That's not too surprising. Not something we want to blackmail our immediate family members over. Emperor Robert is our son-in-law. Okay. Bit odd. You'll note here that we cannot negotiate that alliance, however it is formed. I guess he is married to our daughter. I don't think we did that. She must have done that on her own. Okay. But you'll note that we cannot negotiate the alliance because since we're playing on very hard, we are limited to proposing just 2 alliances. One major alliance, one minor alliance. Often the minor alliance is useless, so by playing on very hard, generally you're limited to proposing one alliance with a foreign power, someone who can come help you in all your wars. You can still get alliances inside your realm, but obviously those people won't come help you in most wars. Now, if the AI proposes an alliance to us, we can get more than 2 alliances, but that wouldn't be what's going on here. There's not much reason to get an alliance with him, frankly. Since we're already his vassal, he's not going to attack us, and he'll never come to help us, both because he's our liege and because he's a scourge conqueror, and they get a minus 1,000 modifier if you try to call them to war, meaning that they will literally never come to war. Almost certainly doing that first option to get the control. Certainly don't want to be a flagellant myself and end up accidentally killing myself. So we know our heir is going to inherit Tuscany and Siena here. So we've really been focused on building up those 2 counties primarily. We'll probably build some buildings in other counties, but those are less important. I don't think we have any good alliances, unfortunately. No, and not even able to get one. I think we'll go ahead and, I guess we don't need to fabricate it. We would just buy it using sanctioned loopholes. So let's just keep them on religious relations. No need for us to fabricate claims on places outside of our realm. This is sort of out of order, really. It should happen at the beginning of the Black Death instead of at the end. Okay, so this event, we certainly do want to pay the money here. Gives a huge development growth bonus for 5 years. Really helps us get back to positive income and restore our realm after a Black Death. Okay, this is our third and youngest son. You know, all of our sons now have had 4-star education traits. You know, that is great. We decided to go with our stewardship-oriented son instead of the 2 military-oriented ones, but you know, still good to have them. Hopefully, they'll be good and loyal marshals, knights for our, you know, the son that's going to be our heir. We will see about trying to find someone with good genetic traits for him. Ideally, someone who is intelligent or genius, like this little girl. Be a while before they get married. That's okay. Did want to see why this guy is just so resistant to me taking his title. Man, I mean, I have a lot of positive modifiers on him. Guess we could try to search his court for secrets if we get a hook. That might improve the chances. Our own husband, you know, looks like he might not be long for this world. No reason to marry someone where we're not going to get an alliance. On the other hand, we might as well try to marry her for genetic benefits. This intelligent guy looks good. Get more gold here. And we are, for a while, we're just gonna sort of chill and try to rebuild our control and, to the extent we can, also our development. But you know, if we were to go to war, raise our armies now, we'd be losing what, at least 10, probably more gold every month. So it's just not worth it. Again, I think we'll pass on events simply because most areas are going to have low control, so it's just going to be too dangerous to travel through them. So our husband has passed away. You can see we're 59, so well beyond the age at which we could have children. I think let's see if we can, you know, so we can't, because we have the 2 alliances, we can't marry anyone with who would give us an alliance. We don't want to marry anyone who's lowborn. Really? These are all the people? Oh, right. Yeah, so early in the game, we took the decision that gives her benefits to domain taxes and her stewardship, but also gives her this massive penalty to getting married. This one here, abandoned marriage. Yeah, so it becomes very difficult for us to marry anyone. I guess the best option is this guy. So yeah, I mean, we could have tried a grand wedding, but I don't, you know, at this point, I don't think who she marries is too significant. Would be nice if I could actually fabricate a hook on the person I'm trying to. Could try swaying him. It doesn't look like this faction is going anywhere, hopefully at least. How difficult will it be to fabricate a hook on him? Says it's easy. I'm skeptical. Guess we'll see. Anyway, and again, we're doing all this because this county is part of the Duchy of Tuscany, and we would like to hold it for one succession. At the moment, it looks like our heir is only going to be getting these 2 counties. Now, if we really wanted to, we could probably play around and fix that, or at least change it. But and maybe we will, particularly with the Duchy of Emilia. But so we'd rather have more counties in this one duchy that our primary heir is getting. So instead of just 2, you could have 3 or 4. So we're trying to get hooks, prove the opinion of this ruler and so forth, so that he'll be more receptive to us taking his lands. Nope. When our income gets up to 15, 20 net gold a month, something like that, and I think it'll be time to start seriously looking at engaging in some more wars. Sure, I wouldn't spend gold. It does hurt to lose an advantage. So I get that at the moment we're not doing a whole lot, but I do think when you're recovering from a Black Death, a lot of what you need to do is just sort of hang tight. Often if you sort of sit still and quickly restore your control, rebuild some of your realm, then you can often have an advantage over the realms around you, because the AI is quite poor at reestablishing control or building up development. And so when those get devastated by the Black Death, often it just stays that way for the AI, that they just have poor development and control for many years, while you as a player should be able to improve that much more quickly. Okay, so I talked before about Emperor Robert was clearly the main character of the game during this first 40 years. He conquered a great realm, had the most, was the best general. Now he has passed away. Let's see if his heir. Okay, his heir did end up getting the conqueror trait. That does not always happen. This is okay. So this is actually beneficial for us, and that means that other scourge conquerors are unlikely to attack the Holy Roman Empire. If they do, unlikely to be successful, so we can continue to grow as part of the Holy Roman Empire. What is interesting about this is, so the current Kaiser is not Emperor Robert's son. Instead, it's I believe the this is Heinrich IV. He begin as the emperor of the. I think he begins as the Holy Roman Emperor in 1066. Yeah, so he had the Holy Roman Empire. King Robert conquered it from him. King Robert dies, and now he becomes Holy Roman Emperor again, as well as being a scourge conqueror. So, quite. I'm not very role play focused, but I do think playing on these very hard settings, the hardest possible rule set, does give rise to some very interesting stories, and that would be one of them. Of Heinrich IV being defeated, losing his title as Holy Roman Emperor, and only to get it back once his old foe and liege had passed away. So we will continue. Steward is good. More gold, more stewardship lifestyle experience. So that all works. Our son and heirs, our co-monarch. Let's get him on filling our coffers, since that's really what we want. So hard to get. Let's just try it. Yeah, it failed. We weren't able to get a hook on this guy that we're trying to take land from. That's unfortunate. Still at 0%. Okay. Because we're playing on the hardest difficult rule set, we're playing on very hard difficulty as part of that, and that gives a significant negative to the player's hostile schemes. Also gives a significant additional negative to AI rulers being unwilling to give up their lands, even if you have a claim on it. So those two things are making it very difficult for us to get these lands. I think we talked about alliances already and how they work. I mean, might as well do it. It's a powerful alliance. I don't know that it's the greatest thing. I mean, I kind of, with that alliance, I almost want to go for Orbitello here. I mean, why not? It is part of the Duchy of Tuscany, so we should get it. Or rather, our heir should get it when we die. So Pope, you just want not taking a whole lot of your realm, just want a little piece. So we'll see how good or bad of a decision this is. Hopefully England will come in against the Pope. He is more than happy to do so. This is interesting. With other people, it's hardly worth calling them in. Pope still has plus 100 opinion of us, so that's good. Let's increase our army a bit. This, let's go to have our marshal organize our army, so the army is a bit less expensive when raised. So I think we are going to be losing gold here, and see if we can take this part of our ducal realm. Okay, I think we want to get our allies here. Don't want to attack across the river, especially. Says we should be likely to win. Let's wait a little while. Let him get some attrition from siege. Okay, I guess he also thinks we're gonna win. Hopefully we pull. Yep. Okay, I think so. Yeah, we're not gonna go fight in Jerusalem. We'll just pay him. Okay, well, fair enough. Guess that's not too surprising. We will go to Kaiser Heinrich's coronation. He's still at plus 80 with us. Talked before about traveling is just very dangerous. We'd like another royal architect to get our... Oh no! No! Oh. So this was our son and chosen heir that just died. That is really unfortunate. That really sucks. Great. Just great. Okay, well, there's not much to be done. Yep. That is terrible. Alright, well, again, this is just one of the challenges that happens playing on hardest possible difficulty. And we do have two good martial sons. We'll use them. Great. Now all these people want to revolt against me, probably because I'm excommunicated. Things have really turned negative here. If that Liberty faction fires, you know, I'll likely just give into it and go back down. I don't know. Maybe all this for trying to get this one county was probably all a mistake. It really hurts that my son died. Son and chosen heir. This is what, you know, we talked about before about, you know, you try to increase your crown authority even just a little, and your vassals will rise up in rebellion against you. Let's go attack the Pope's armies over here. Yeah, there's not much to be done. It really is unfortunate. Wanted to advocate domain. That's what we'll do. Got caught up in my son dying, which I think is understandable. Want that development benefit, which we did get, so that's good. Go with the prayer for wealth. I mean, you know, having don't really think I want him to have a hook on me. So take the lifestyle experience. special there. Now we really just need a little bit of ticking war score, and we will have this territory. Back to increasing our control of our domain. Our second son here, now that he's adult, we can at least give him this county. Try not to get too high over the domain limit. See what I do need to do to become no longer be excommunicated. We'll just say we have no choice and go back to having no crown authority. Yeah, so, you know, some debatable decisions there. We'll just have to see over time, you know, if, particularly if getting this third county in my primary duchy was worth it. Currently I'm going to lose both of these counties to my second son, which I think let's not do that. Let's instead vote them to our player heir, see what effect that has on our succession. Okay, he'll take the Duchy of our second son will take the Duchy of Lombardy. That's fine. He won't, we've already given him the one county in there, and our main heir will take all 5 of the counties we currently hold, 2 of the duchies. I think that's where we want to be. Just so what I did there is I put a feudal elective title on the duchy I wanted to keep that was outside of my primary duchy. Cost 1,500 prestige, but as long as you own most of the counties in there, you should be able to control the voting for that duchy where it goes. And so when you're on some sort of partition, that's a very powerful and common way to keep your realm together. See, we are back to making quite a bit of gold, actually. Let's see what else we need to, and that's even, Florence isn't even back to full control yet. There's really no reason to try to get these, 2 guys titles, since we would be able to take them anyway, since we no longer have the second rank of crown authority, whatever it is, limited crown authority. So just sit here, certainly not paying that much for whatever that guy's selling. We have Dark Insights perk in the intrigue tree, so we might as well torture these people, see if we can improve our intrigue or prowess. Got some intrigue, it looks like. increase our gold. It's really the most important thing. Might as well cash in this hook. Pet my dog, so let's pen that. So we can sway whatever powerful vassals dislike us. Try to get as many vassals as possible to have a positive opinion of us, since that partly carries over to our heir. So Locke over here is attacking the Holy Roman Empire. Again, Heinrich has the conqueror trait. Hopefully he will be able to make good use of it and defend the realm. Not much. Okay. So I think, we'll just do this, even though it's quite expensive. Gets rid of the excommunicated trait. See all these people participating in the crusade. Good luck to them. They are okay. So the Eunids here, they put together this large realm. It's certainly been put together by a scourge conqueror, probably this guy. I don't know if he lost wars or what happened, but he seems to have lost the scourge conqueror trait. When the AI becomes a scourge conqueror, their education seems to rapidly improve, much quicker than one would expect from just being able to go to university or anything else. So the fact this guy is a 5th level intrigue education would indicate to me, he is the person who used to be a scourge conqueror, but obviously no longer. So the crusade might have some chance of success. I think if he were a scourge conqueror and you were trying to take his lands, that's just not going to happen. Probably. I mean, you never know. But now that he's not a scourge conqueror, well, all bets are off. Let's build. Okay, we are fully built out in that one. I guess so. Okay. Take the risk here, trying to get more increases of opinion with her. Usually you have pretty high chances of succeeding. Lose more stress. Don't want to spend money. Why is there some mercenaries attacking our capital? Or whatever, landless adventurer ban, whatever they are. In any event, I want them to stop doing that. Now you want to run away. Okay. So that's my first elder trait there. Alright, I'll stop chasing him. So it does, take fragile bones, does literally take years off your life. So it's possible that Matilda, after such a good run, is coming to the end of her time. Not sure what that mercenary band / landless group of adventurers was doing in my domain, but at least they're leaving. Okay, 4 years for battlements. All right, we really need that. It's a bit unfortunate. I guess it's really unfortunate that we're not going to have our heir be our excellent stewardship character. So it'll be a bit more difficult to construct buildings and really firm up our power base. It's unfortunate that Heinrich lost this war against the Scourge conqueror of Wallachia. It means that Wallachia keep expanding into us. We'll extort our vassals. We'll really extort our vassals. No point in that marriage, but we do want to see if we can get her someone with good genetic traits. Obviously that kid has amazing genetic traits. And for that extort vassals decision, I think that the issue there is we generally have pretty high opinion with our vassals, and so I think going for the max amount of gold is not going to cause us to have factions or rebellions, but you never know. So we have some talented people here. I just don't know that they're in the right positions. Okay, we can go on another grand tour. We'll certainly want to do the taxation tour. It's not going to help with our bonitis, but should make us a good sum of money. I want to leave to our son. And again, since he's not going to be he's going to be a martial-focused character, so he's all the money we leave him, the better, because he's probably going to have difficulty generating gold on his own. Okay, see how this goes. Yeah, I'm not interested. Visiting our younger son here. Our older son does not yet have any children. Just curious if the Pope had a negative opinion modifier on us because we're holding that one county, but looks like he does not. So that's fine. It's good. So that event, it's sort of a coin flip as to whether you get the renown. It says if you fail, you get severely injured, but that does not in fact seem to be true. And so often I will take that chance. Looks like our liege Heinrich is attacking this other scourge conqueror to get back Hungary. Have to see how it goes. Again, if a scourge conqueror loses 3 wars, they cease to be a scourge conqueror. Also true for regular conquerors. And so it can always be a bit risky if you're a scourge conqueror and going against someone of similar power. We'll try to get the gold. Did. That's good. Take the renown. So for these buildings, I had thought about holding off on improving the Duomo and constructing University of Siena. I don't think there's really any reason to hold off. They're very powerful buildings. So at least we'll bequeath these to our military son. Hopefully they will strengthen him and see our net gold income really is increasing quite quickly, but the question is going to be what is it going to look like when our son takes over. If we still had the now dead stewardship son, it'd probably look quite similar, but with our military minded son, 13 stewardship, it's going to look a lot worse. The question really just is how much worse. Does look like Heinrich IV is doing pretty well in his war to reclaim Hungary, so hopefully he succeeds. Marry our grandson to someone age appropriate who has intelligence trait. Yep. Try to get these good genetic traits as much into our dynasty as much as we can. Let's take the delay. Don't really want to die at the moment. At least finish this grand tour. Okay, you see, Kaiser Heinrich did get Hungary back. So that's good. I think we will improve the Duomo here. Get more taxes, get more development growth, get an extra stewardship. So, all good stuff. Hopefully my learning will carry me on this. It did. Let's get a hook on this guy, more for the gold. We will change your contract to pay us more gold. certainly didn't want to pay that guy for a secret, and then the other one option that gave odds didn't really have great odds, so just move on. Too bad we couldn't find my son a while back, but probably not worth worrying about it anymore, frankly. Just have to move on with the children we have. Still want more gold. Form an alliance with our younger son, who is who landed. We'll be getting the Duchy of Lombardia once I die, but nothing else, which is how we want it. That one was a coin flip. The chance of getting renown is certainly worth it. So our main alliance is expired. This guy is a scourge conqueror. Guess because he's already defending its one invasion, Heinrich thinks now is the time to strike. That's quite reasonable thought, frankly. So survey the lands, want as much gold as we can possibly get. Might as also, since we know these two buildings are going to be going to our heir, let's start building in them. Don't think I can build windmills. No. Okay. Let's build blacksmiths. Here, the same. Blacksmiths are kind of a combo building. They help with economics. They help with damage of stationed regiments. So we constructed the second level of the Duomo. So should help build up our development even faster here. We have our Swabo-Italian culture centered on Florence, so want to get the development up as high as quickly as we can. Heinrich, our liege, is really going to town, declaring a lot of wars. And that option, I don't like the risk of spending so much money. Two quite good children here. These are from my daughter. Again, we'll try to see if there's good young children we can get them married to. Won't start the inbreeding just yet. Our heir doesn't have any children yet, which is starting to get a bit concerning. Take that middle option since don't have to pay gold using that one. I'm having great grandchildren. While they're incredibly expensive, we do want to get our retinue vanguard online, station them where they will get the most benefit. The retinue vanguard are just very, very powerful. if our... That's not good. Wow, I'm still in fine health, even being severely injured. That's quite surprising. And so, having a full stack of Retinue Vanguard will really help my son when he takes over. Talked before about how your vassals really hate you and using this rule set because we're playing on very hard and because we have lesser realm stability. And so they're very likely to try to revolt. So we want our son to be in the strongest position in terms of gold, military power, everything we can. Unfortunate to lose the steward position there. Jeez. She's really toughing out these wounds. I'm surprised she's not in poor health yet. That is. We'll continue upgrading these buildings, trying to get as much gold as we can. Talked before about might as well have us do it. Our military son won't be any better than we are. I think we noted before that East Franconia was very weak. He's a bit stronger now than he used to be. Could start looking around at places to attack. They have the Swabian culture. That's even better because we have high cultural acceptance with them. Frankly, I think these guys look, like they're ready to be attacked. A couple more. Retinue Vanguard. You saw we built the University of Siena, just an amazingly powerful building. Intrigue, learning, renown, monthly lifestyle experience, cultural fascination progress. Again, I'd say it's. I haven't looked at all the buildings in China, but I would say traditionally I would consider Siena to be one of the 10 best holdings in the world. It's a holding I would always try to have and keep when I do world conquest and paint the entire map and have my choice of any holding anywhere in the world. Siena is one of the ones I want. Okay, the elder traits are starting to build up here. Again, our son is getting where it's about time for him to inherit. He doesn't have any children. May have to divorce his wife when he comes of age, and it would be great if he could find an intelligent or even better a genius woman to marry and have children with more likely to have those traits, but just don't know. We will siege down this holding and then should have plenty of time to get over there, defeat our opponent's army, or we could just end the war with a single siege. Don't think we particularly need to hold the Duchy of Alsace. Yeah. I think we'll just hand it back to him, or whoever has the... I guess the Duchy building is outside our realm, so... Here you go, buddy. Thuringia is relatively powerful, so they're currently hold Swabia, or whatever, the actual Duchy of Swabia. Let's make sure we don't get too much territory and accidentally form Germany on succession, since we are in Confederate partition. Looks like the Christians are defending well against the jihad. Just looking here. About who we want to attack if we were to do such a thing. Yeah, he has a lot of troops. Again, you really don't want to expand too quickly here. You want to make sure you can keep your vassals in line one way or the other, especially because of the vassal opinion penalties we just talked about. I do have the Know Thyself perk, so should get a notification a year before I die. Okay, we've got battlements, that's good. Maybe instead of more war, we just try to build up our gold. Try to build some keeps, our main buildings. And since we are now in poor health, also I just want to build up the gold to pass on to our son. So I usually don't get the animal pelts, but 9 effectiveness plus 5%, not bad really. Don't think we'll be going to any grand tournaments anymore with this character. Obviously with future characters we will. Building more buildings, getting more gold. Improving control here. Lost our physician, certainly want to replace her. We'll just build up some gold. Spend gold. I think probably worth going ahead and getting the second level of castle here. For a second I thought that said, that was the 1 year notification that I was about to die, but that is not what it was, thankfully, I think. So we should be able to vassalize this guy with normal feudal obligations if we can sway him one more time. I think we want to do anything that would harm our son and heir. As you can see, there are quite a few grand tournaments. When we go to our next character, who is obviously a man, we'll be doing those, but not now. So these are actually quite rare. One of the things that we are playing on is random harm, tragically spiteful, so the most challenging setting against the player only. But even with those, it seems like the actual harm events that come up where your character can just die from a random event are still quite rare. When whatever it was 2 or 3 years ago when Paradox first put that feature in, it seems like roughly every 50 to 100 years you'd have a character randomly die. But now it's quite rare in the hardest setting. But before you die randomly, you get a notification basically letting you know, hey, you might have this random death event happen to you. And that is clearly what this is. That I here at this pond, looking at it. So it's possible a few years from now, my character will be at that same pond and just drown or have something else happen to her to kill her. Now, of course, she may just die of natural causes, given her age. Looks like our personal counties all have the highest level of control, so that's good. I think at this point, probably just hang out here in our castle and not worry too much about traveling. I don't think we need 2 regiments of pikemen, so I'll probably destroy this regiment if I get enough money and turn it into armored footmen. Speaking of armored footmen, let's max out that retinue vanguard. So one of the things I talked about in prior series is army composition. If I was playing on normal, probably at least half of my regiments would be siege engines, maybe even 2/3. But here you need an army to actually be able to defeat the AI, especially when you're fighting against scourge conquerors. It simply does not work to have an army that is mostly siege engines and not really capable of fighting. Okay, so we'll bring a mountaineer here. This is just to get a little more renown. Probably get some prestige as well. But the renown is really the thing. Very difficult to get renown, and the more you can get of it, however way you can, the more powerful you become. So. There we go, 75 renown, so not a lot, but whatever we get. Have a learning perk that we can't use because we are completely maxed out on learning. We'll torture our new prisoner here. See if we can get some dark insights. We did. Asla is that guy with normal feudal obligations, so we will do that. We'll extort our subjects because we want gold and because they deserve it for being rebellious. Now that's annoying. Okay, so the concern is that because we're a Confederate partition, we still don't even have the tech for partition, I assume? No. Oh, wait, what? Okay. So, you know, if we were to die this second, what would happen is that our second son here would get the kingdom of Sardinia. So to avoid that, we are going to create the title ourselves, even though it's quite expensive. We are going to again add a succession law onto it, uh, which can cost quite a bit of prestige, but this is really the best way to control succession. And then by the feudal elective title, we'll vote for our main heir. What hopefully you will see is, you know, now our main heir gets both the Kingdom of Italy. Well, he's going to be in Italy, you know, by inheritance. He gets these two duchies, you know, from the elective title, and so our second son still just gets Duchy of Lombardia, not a separate kingdom title. I would think that our liege would give us, you know, these counties as these counties as vassals, but not seeing it yet. And not going to grand tournaments just because we're in quite poor shape. Really, at this point, just focusing on setting up our son and heir for this, you know, the strongest he can be. I'll spend a chunk of gold here. Hopefully, it'll generate before I die. We are making quite good progress up the stewardship tree. Son still doesn't have any children. Probably as soon as he takes over, have to divorce his wife. I guess the other place we can look for in terms of getting more counties is Ancona over here. I mean, at least that top county is Swabo Italian, so I think maybe I will take it, pass it on to my son. He should have a domain limit of 4, right? Yes, because he'll have 1 better education than me. I'm just at the 3-star. He's 4-star, but he also, at the start of his rule at least, won't have a perk that gives him an extra domain limit. For this, I'd rather have the 750 gold, frankly, than you know, a green book. I think let's go ahead and take this county here. It's not a great county, but yeah. Guess I'll get a couple counties since I have a claim on an additional county. Maybe I'll give that to my younger son, the one down here. See, at least for the moment, we can raise our entire army and still have a pretty good monthly income. But I think it's, you know, even with our marshal being on control. Let's put him an organized army. I'm sure I know where Bastia is. I should have checked. It's in Spoleto. Oh, it's over here. Okay. Looks like Duke Heinrich is again attacking Carpathia and very quickly won. So we know this guy has lost at least 2 wars now. He won 1 war against Heinrich, Kaiser Heinrich, and has lost 2. So not sure how long he or Heinrich will live, but Heinrich can defeat a 3rd defeat on him, can inflict a 3rd defeat on him. That will be the end of that character being a Scourge Conqueror. So again, don't want to do anything too crazy here, just take things slow. Don't know that we have any daughters that we want to marry to this guy. That's a lot of gold. I'll take the gold. Take a little bit more gold. Who is this? Oh, son-in-law? Sure. I think Fermo down here is Italian culture. We'll give it to our younger son. Then we will keep Urbino for ourselves. Ancona is also Italian culture, but maybe at some point we'll get it. Sort of wanted Urbino since it was close to our realm and is Swabo-Italian, which is our culture. So we'll try to improve its control. Nope, can't torture children. I'll just let her go. See if we get any dark insights here. Number 3 looks very strong. Yeah. Rather have the gold. And again, I don't know that we want her to live that much longer. Our heir is already getting up there, frankly, in age. Let's build some more buildings. Really best to have this character do it, since he does have some helpful modifiers. tournament's going to help us at this point. Let's make sure our succession hasn't changed. Nope. Okay. So, talked before about we have the 3 dynasty legacies in the blood tree that I like getting. Almost always get these first 3 whatever game I play. In a regular game of CK3, I would probably go down here to kin and get all of these 5. They're very strong. No studious youth, better education traits, particularly powerful now, given the changes to how domain limit is calculated to be based on education rather than stewardship. Close bonds, helps against dynasty members. It's partly the reason why I like making dynasty members, giving them land when I get extra land. And then graceful aging, one of the most powerful in the game. Increase of skills, no prowess loss. Though, of course, now often elder traits will still cause you to lose prowess. But we're not playing a regular game of CK3. We really need as much help as we can militarily, and so we would go down warfare. Again, my character I think is just too old to go on many of these events. When our son takes over, we'll probably be sending on as many of these events as we can, particularly sending him on to grand tournaments, as he can get just expose me. Because our son, by going to grand tournaments, can get gold, prestige, hostile looter experience, all kinds of good stuff. I do think that we are truly getting close to dying at this point. Okay, that guy really hates us. And for now, just trying to see how powerful we can get our domain to give our son best chance of success when he takes over. Probably should be the last buildings we build, gold we spend, unless this character lives a lot longer than I expect. But I think we had a very successful run with Matilda. You can really see how powerful she is. Yeah. Kyrgyz over here, of course, ruled by Scourge Conqueror, quite powerful. Throw him in jail. Didn't even know someone was trying to murder me. Should pay more attention. That is quite bad, actually. Secrecy is not too high. At this point, don't think I'm going to live very long anyway. Getting murdered is not the end of the world. Our succession is set up, but let's check it. Really can never check your succession too often. Leave the guy who's trying to murder me in prison. Sure. much like Robert the Fox, Heinrich IV. Now that he regained the Holy Roman Empire, has just been going off and just attacking people all over. Again, that's good for us at this point. The more powerful the HRE is, the less likely any scourge conquerors will come and attack the HRE and take our land in Italy and Germany. Looks like England has fallen apart, maybe because they're ruled by a 2-year-old girl. Another Grand Tour, huh? So I would like to go on another Grand Tour, but I would need some gold. Could just build it up, or how close am I to extorting subjects? I am very close to being able to extort subjects again. Extorting subjects should give me the gold I need for my tour. So for this one, I don't like loss of control. Don't care as much about the loss in popular opinion. Let's see if we have enough gold. If we might be just short. Again, definitely want to do taxation. Looks like we are well short. Yeah. Okay. Well, if we can't do it, we can't do it. One of our granddaughters is ruling Corinthia, different dynasty. So payments we can demand here. Looks like we have another grandson ruling another duchy, so good stuff. We certainly won't be starting a legend. Legends, we're playing with very expensive legends with very slow spread as part of our rule set. Also, there are fewer legends available. Again, the reason for all that is the player is much more likely to abuse and make better use of legends than the AI. And so, to increase the difficulty, make legends more difficult to use. Yeah, Heinrich is just going off. Wow, so the Holy Roman Empire basically owns the vast majority of Byzantium. Abyssinia here, ruled by a scourge conqueror. Coptic, Nubian. Probably take a lot of land at the expense of the Iunids. So we talked before about the random harm events and how we got the precursor saying, hey, you need to be aware that a random harm event may be coming, and so here it is. We'll read this one because they're so rare anymore. I mean, most of the stuff, these events come up, I just make decisions. They're here, of course, there's no decision to be made, but I just make decisions because I've read them dozens of times. But Paradox made a lot of harm events, and they almost never come up anymore. Okay, and there we go. So 42 years old, not No children. Wife is too old to have children, so we'll need to divorce her. Really see if we can marry someone intelligent or genius. I'm temperate, so it does give a small health boost, so I'll live a little bit longer than normal. We can get health boost by going to grand tournament, so we're definitely going to be doing that. Uh, but yeah, you can see at the moment we're only making 8 gold net income as opposed to 50. We'll see a work of what we can do to improve that. But yeah, this is the end of Duchess Matilda after I think a very successful life. Starting with our next episode, we will pick up with her son. Thanks again for watching. Hope you continue to watch the rest of the series. Thanks and goodbye.